So this is the box that the Realme 6 comes in, and of course the first thing that we see is this bright yellow color that the brand has adopted as its signature. We've just got one big 6 over here and a little bit of advertising for an award that the company has won. We've got the name of the product on the sides, couple of highlights on the back to tell you about the main features. So the front camera is embedded in a punch hole in the display and it has a 90 Hz refresh rate. There's a 30 watt charger included in the box and the battery capacity is 4300 mAh. We've got a MediaTek Helio G90T SoC and 4 cameras on the back, one of which is a 64 megapixel primary shooter. Not much else to see. If you look at this fine text over here, you'll see the color of the unit is comet blue. So let's cut through this plastic and open the box for the first time. So right on the top we have a nice pleasant little message saying, "Hey, welcome to Realme family." Inside this paper compartment is the SIM eject pin, a slightly smoky clear plastic case, a few paper pamphlets, and beneath that is the phone itself in another protective layer of plastic. So this is the comet blue version, and what's distinctive about this is the pattern on the rear, which looks like it converges to a point right at the bottom. So as you move this phone around, you'll see those lines shift, but the pattern itself is deliberate. We'll put this aside for the moment. Look at the rest of the box contents. So this is the cable that is in the box. It's got the yellow Realme highlight. And what's interesting is that this is a USB Type-C cable. So that's that. And then we have the very familiar looking 30 watt VOOC charger. And that appears to be it. This is everything that you get inside the box. So here's the Realme 6 itself. Let's turn it on. And while it's booting up, let's have a look at the design. So what we have is a power button on the right with an embedded fingerprint sensor. On the rear, we have the 4 cameras, one of which is a 64 megapixel primary shooter, and then in addition to that we have an 8 megapixel ultra wide camera, a 2 megapixel macro camera, and a 2 megapixel depth sensor. On the left we have the volume buttons, and here's the tray which we will pop out right now. And as expected, there are individual slots for 2 nano SIMs and a micro SD card. On the bottom of the phone we have a headphone socket, the USB Type-C port, which we're very happy to see, and a single speaker. The top of the phone is blank as expected. So let's just quickly run through the setup process. So the Realme 6 has just booted up for the first time and we get to play around with it now. Let's talk about the display first. What we have is a 6.5 inch full HD plus display with a 90 Hz refresh rate, but the company tells us that while the screen refresh rate is 90 Hz, it recognizes touch input at 120 Hz, which should be interesting to those who are looking for a very responsive phone for gaming. The screen also has Gorilla Glass 3 for protection, and the back of the unit is made out of polycarbonate. So we have a screen protector that's pre-applied, and of course the front camera, which isn't very visible right now, but there you have it. That makes it look more distinct. This is a 16 megapixel front camera. The Realme 6 is running Realme's own custom skin called Realme UI, and that is on top of Android 10, which you get right out of the box. So the Realme 6 is based on the MediaTek G90T processor. It will be available in 3 variants, one with 4 GB of RAM and 64 GB of storage, one with 6 GB of RAM and 128 GB of storage, and finally the top end one with 8 GB of RAM and 128 GB of storage. One interesting detail is that the company has used LPDDR4X RAM and UFS 2.1 storage. We have a 4300 mAh battery, which might not seem like a lot, but the company does include a 30-watt Whoop charger in the box.